welcome back. This is Michelle from Michelle's Empty Nest, and today I thought I would walk you through my setup of my 2022 daily journal. So I've already shared my reading journal, and I have a daily journal that I want to hopefully journal in daily for 2022. It is something that I have always wanted to do. I've tried to do several times. I can go for, little spurts of 2 to 3 weeks here or there. I may skip a few days and then come back for another week, skip a month. It's just always been very sporadic. But I always enjoy the process when I make the time to actually sit down and do just a little snippet of daily journaling. So, much like my reading journal, this was very heavily inspired by Heba, my sweet friend over at My Little Journal. I've looked up several other YouTubers that showed their process for daily journals, and I think 2 out of the 3 referred back to Heba as their inspiration as well. So we all know and love Heba and are thankful that she shares her inspiration with us. I know I certainly am. So for my daily journal, I think that using an Archer and Olive journal may help me a little bit. I love them. I love the paper. I love the feel of the paper. And so sometimes, just having a pretty journal or a journal that you really enjoy gives you that little bit of extra motivation. So I'm hoping that will be the case with this one. So what I chose was this kind of a mustardy yellow. I don't remember the exact name. I'll link it below from the Archer and Olive site. But I chose it not because I'm typically drawn to mustard yellow, but my word for 2022 will very heavily tie into this color and especially the sun motif here. And I'll share that word soon. I ended up changing my mind a few weeks ago from what I thought I was going to use. So that announcement will be forthcoming probably in the next day or two. But I went with this so that it would stand out from most of my journals, which are pink and purple and light blue and floral and all those things. So I wanted it to really kind of be something special. I went with this square 8x8 size, and here is how it compares to my reading journal, which is an A5. So a little shorter, but a considerable amount wider. And I love squares, so I thought that would be something fun to try. So I'm going to show you what I've got. It's very simple, and then show you the stamps and the colors of ink that I used as I set this up. So just like I have done with the other journals, I have my reading journal and my prayer journal already set up. I used the Heidi Swapp caption numbers for stamping out 2022. So this is kind of consistent for all the title pages of my journals for this year coming up. And then I used the Allie Edwards AE uppercase alpha to stamp out all of my titles. So like reading journal, prayer journal, daily journal, they're all from this same alpha. And I will try my best to link. I used about, I think, 14 different stamp sets, but I will do my best to link the ones that are still available that I can find a link to. All right, and then for some reason, I always glue these first 2 pages together. I just like my title page having a little more heft to it, so I've glued that together. And I will say I did start off by using my scrapbook.com premium die ink in black. When I want a nice, dark, crisp, just really, well-covered stamp impression, this is what I typically reach for. But I decided to kind of switch gears after I stamped out January, and everything else is stamped in the Tim Holtz Distress ink in black soot. And I did that because with so much stamping that's going to go on in this book throughout the year, I wanted something that is kind of meant to be a little more distressed and imperfect looking so that I did not have to try to worry so much about getting a perfect impression every time, if that makes sense. So just allowing myself a little bit of grace right from the get-go. So for the title or the January page, I used the Allie Edwards Awesome Alpha. It was a December daily release, and I am loving this alpha. I just love that it's so chunky and bold, but it's still a little fun. I love that the holes aren't punched out, so to say. So I used that, and then I have this stamp set that I found last year. It's not the best quality. In fact, it's pretty pitiful, but it was all I could find at the time for what I was looking for. And this was before I really knew about a lot of other stamp shops that probably have something much better than this. But I got this one off of Amazon, and it's just a monthly calendar. I don't know who it was from. That's what the question marks are for. But it has where you can stamp out different combinations of when the month begins. And so, yeah, so I've just stamped that out there. And then I had this little space over here, so I pulled out this Heidi Swap stamp. It was January from 2021. And I just used this little calendar icon. And then since the month starts on Saturday, I had a lot of space. So I used these larger words. This was from the Kelly Perky before she became the Paper Person shop, called Highline Days. So I used that one to stamp out Saturday and Sunday. And then I thought I would do, since I had the space, I pulled out the Heidi Swap connection words, and I just did the word the. And then I went back to the Highline Days and did first and then second. So Saturday the 1st and Sunday the 2nd. And then for this page, I used the Everyday Explorers Day by Day stamp set. And I just went with these. That's probably upside down for you, sorry. I just used this little column of abbreviated days of the week there. And I did use this stamp set more than once. And then for the actual date, I went to my Everyday Explorers Calendar Days stamp set. And I like them because, especially when you get to the actual double-digit numbers, you don't have to worry about stamping twice. You know, you have the double-digit numbers already there for you. And then this one, let's see. This was from the Paper Person Day by Day. So I think I have one called Day by Day from Everyday Explorers and Paper Person. So I used the one that kind of has the little rectangular box missing. And then I went in with the Calendar Day stamp again, where it has Sunday through Saturday. And that's what I was going to tell you. Hold on. Tangent for a second. I didn't put any color on this page, but I decided I wanted a little color mixed in with the ink. So this one is Tattered Rose. Again, I used all distressed oxides just to kind of take away some of that, you know, trying to get it perfect. So just Tattered Rose for this page. And then for these, just these little bitty words, I used Speckled Egg, which is one of my favorite blues. I love that color, and it's also one of the newer colors, not the newest, but it was in that release. Well, it could have been from 2020 by now. Anyway, it's a pretty color of blue, very pretty. And then I just went in with a pen and wrote the actual date on those. And I tried to kind of vary up, you know, big, small, bold, simple, whatever. So I went back to the Day by Day stamp from Everyday Explorers, and I just used these little circle stamps where they have Monday on, you know, 2 sections, Tuesday on 2 sections, like that. And just kind of tried to tilt them all to about the same angle. And then for the numbers on this one, let me see, I used these teeny tiny little numbers from the Heidi Swap. It was from her Stamp Society. It's like a subscription stamp for each month. So in May, it was this, and I called it a Lightbox Alpha. I don't think she always names these, but I give them a name just so I can have something to kind of refer to in my mind. So just these little tiny numbers, and stamped those in Kitsch Flamingo, which is one of my favorite pinks from the Distress Oxide line. And then, let's see, I went back to the Everyday Explorers Day by Day, and this time I used this section here where it's still like a lowercase script or handwriting font, but it's the actual full day instead of the abbreviation. And then I decided I would stamp the date over that, and I like how that looked a lot. And for that one, I used a By the Will for God stamp called His Birth Alpha, and I just love these fun numbers, and I thought they looked good with being larger and just kind of a totally different font than the days of the week. And I stamped those numbers in Fossilized Amber. Very pretty, kind of matches my cover pretty well. And then we have the lone little 31st. And so again, since I had space, this time I stamped out the number. And so I went back to one of my favorite big bold stamp sets that I used an awful lot last year from Carrie Bradford called Outnumbered 2 Extra Large. And this is the feel. There's also an outline. So I stamped out 31. And then for the Monday, let me see, hold on. Hold, please. I went back to the Everyday Explorers Day by Day stamp, and I used this one right here, which has an underline under it. So I turned it sideways to kind of go up and down the one. And you can see this 3 just did not stamp perfectly. And I'm going to be okay with that. It's a daily journal where I'm just going to be writing. It's not always going to be neat writing. I'll be adding stickers and other things to it. So perfection is not needed here. And I'm preaching that to myself as much as anyone else, because I say I'm a recovering perfectionist, but there hasn't been much recovery going on. So there are times when I just have to purposefully say, let it go, Michelle, let it go. It's okay. In the grand scheme, it does not matter. So I'm just embracing that imperfection and moving on. And for the Monday, I stamped it in Abandoned Coral, which is another beautiful color. So I tried to use some of my favorite colors and just alternate, not stick with just all pinks or all yellows or blues or whatever. So I just tried to get a good variety. And then I will come back next month and set up February. So I didn't know if this would be something that you would be interested in seeing me actually go through the stamping and the stamp selection and the ink selection and that kind of stuff each month. So I did not turn the camera on before I started, but I thought, well, the reading journal, people seem to enjoy that one. So I thought I would kind of do the same thing and just walk you through what I had done so far. I don't know how much of the actual journaling I will share, if I will share any at all. I don't know yet. I'm not sure how deep or personal it will go. If you've been around, my goal is to always be authentic, and I have shared some very deeply personal things with you all, and I don't mind doing that. But if it's ever something where another person is involved, I would respect their privacy, of course, and not share that. But anyway, so if you would be interested in seeing possibly some of the journaling finished pages with stickers and things like that, or if you would like to see me do the setup for February, I can certainly turn the camera on and just bring you along with me. So let me know below what you think about that, and also tell me if you do some sort of daily journal. How long have you been doing it? What kind of journal or notebook do you use? Do you journal in the morning? Do you journal at night? These are all things I'm still trying to kind of figure out for myself. So I'd love to know from you all how it goes. So if you enjoyed the video, I would certainly appreciate a thumbs up down below, and I appreciate you stopping by. It means more to me than you will ever know. I promise you that. And again, as we're rounding out the year, I'm so thankful that you are here. And if you have not already hit that subscribe button, please do that and become a part of my little YouTube family. I'll probably show a few close-up pictures at the end, and there'll also be some things posted over on Instagram. So make sure you follow me over there as well. And until I see you again, take care of yourself, do something good for yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.